Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's tutorial, I'll be taking us a tutorial on how I designed the flyer I used for my 10k Instagram subscribers celebration. This flyer right here, yeah, this one. So this tutorial will introduce you into how to how to use the gradients, how to make a good use of the gradients, and how you can merge or blend in two or more colors to form your gradients. The do's and don'ts of a gradient. So in this tutorial, you will learn these few tricks. Okay, so stay right here as we dive right into it. Okay, so guys, the first thing to do in this tutorial is to type out the 10k. So the font here is Poppins Black. Yeah, that's the font I want to use. So the next thing to do is to break your fonts apart. Go to your object, then you go to break 10k apart. If you have another thing there, if it is 5k, you will say break 5k apart. So just break it apart and it separates them individually. So the next thing to do is select the whole thing and right click, convert to curve. So it changes from text to object. So now the next thing I want to do is I want my circle to be perfect. So I don't need this. I'll just delete this. Let me just move this out a bit. Then the next thing is to draw circle to represent the 10. Yeah, so this is it. Then another thing I need to ensure is I want to increase the length of this. Yes, so my circle becomes bigger. I'll still come back to the K. So now my circle becomes bigger. So the next thing I'll make sure to create another circle in, but I make sure the width of this place from here to here is equal to the width of this from here to here. So to ensure that, I can just use a rectangle, draw a rectangle here. Let me delete this. Then I bring my rectangle to the edge. So I can now reduce this. Yes, that makes sense, right? Okay, it's still remaining a bit. Still remains a little to join this edge. Okay, yeah, that's it. So that makes it equal. And again, I feel like because I want to join the K to this, I'll have to I have to remove this stroke. So for me to do that, I just use my rectangle to like cover this place. I draw a rectangle to cover that place. Then I select the rectangle with the alphabet K and I click on trim. You can also go to your objects, you go to shaping, then you go to trim. So it trims that out. I can delete my rectangle now. So now my K is not as long, it's not as tall as this alphabet one, which is one thing I have to ensure. So for me to do that, let me just let me take this let me take this two away first. For me to ensure that, I bring it together, align it to the center, select the two together and press alphabet E on your keyboard. Once you press alphabet E, it aligns. So the next thing is I have to draw a line from the top of this straight. I do the same thing for the base. Now I have to draw a line to like add up to this K. Draw another line from this edge to this edge. I increase it. Do the same thing for this side. As you can see, this shows that the font we use is not even accurate in the first place. But then don't mind that. Just keep your head up and do what you have to do. And that might necessarily mean you have to recreate the font. So now on doing this, I group this together and I duplicate it. I flip it and I bring it towards this part to form the upper side. As you can see, it is not equal, right? It is not equal. So the next thing to do is I can get rid of this. Then I just ungroup this. I ungroup this. Then I increase the length of each of them so that they meet to form my K. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Now this forms my alphabet K, right? So the next thing for me to do is to use my visual segment delete tool, or on Illustrator you use your shape builder. I use my visual segment delete tool to delete this part, delete this part. Then I fill in that part, smart fill. That gives me my K. So I can now take it out, delete this. and I can delete the lines I use in creating it. So that's the way I created an alphabet K. Now I'm bringing this back in. Then I want to infuse the K into the what's it called? The O, the alphabet. I mean the number 0. But before I do that, I grouped this together before. Let me ungroup it. If I remove this, it is no longer what I want. So I return this. I select the two together and I trim. That means I'm using the circle to cut out the circle, to drill a hole into the circle. So I select this, and I click trim. So it trims it off, then I can take this away and delete. So the next thing is I'm bringing my alphabet K into here, just like this. And on doing that now, I want to do something. And what I want to do is I want to, I don't want it, if I give the two the same color or something, it will look like they are joined. I want to give it some kind of separation. That means I need a space here and a space here. So for me to do that, I'll just create an outline, a black outline, right? So I can just increase the outline width. Let's say 20. Let me go to my outline pen option. Double click on here. Then click behind fill. Yes. So the behind fill means the outline is behind the shape. So let me increase it a little more. Let me see 18. I think 18 works well for me. Yeah, so the next thing to do is I go to my objects and I go to convert outline to object. So once I do that, I have separated my outline from the shape. Now doing that, I can remove the color of the outline and give it a black. I mean, yes, it's not a shape. So I can remove the color and give it a black outline on its own. So after doing that, I can therefore use my issue segment delete tool again to delete these lines, which I don't need, right? So I can then delete this outline of this. It is just to serve as a guide. I can delete it, and the next thing to do is I use my what's it called, bezier tool or your pen tool, whichever one. Select it, use it to create a node here, and join it to the edge here. Do the same thing here. Out. Do the same thing here again. Join it here. So then you now go back to I can cut this out. Control X to cut out the K. Yes. Then I can use my shape tool to delete these nodes. Use your shape tool to select it, and click delete nodes or press delete on your keyboard. Do the same thing for this. You delete. Now you go to your smart fill object, select it, and you fill that part. So it fills it up for you. Then you remember I cut out the K before. Then I just Control V the K, and it pastes it on it. So now I have my 10K, right? So the next thing is the coloring process. Now I have, because of the brand I'm using, my brand has its own brand color. So let me use my brand color. Using my brand color, I have this. Command. Okay, yeah. So this is it. This This is my brand color here. There are actually 5 colors actually. Let me copy this and bring it here. This is my brand color, right? So now let me create circles, 4 circles to represent the brand color. 2, 3, 4. Now I'll fill each circle with each color. So the first one here is blue. Second one is this green. The third one is this yellow, and the fourth one is this red or pink. Now, this is something about blending colors. You look out for colors that, if you have to blend a color, you look out for color that the contrast difference is not so much. For example, I want to blend a color like I want to blend a color like this green, and I want to blend blue. The contrast difference is very much. If I blend these two together, this is what it gives me. Let me use my blend tool. I just drag it over. Let me increase this to like 1000. Contrast difference is much. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look subtle to the eye. Okay, another way to get that done is, okay, I have the blue. Let me give it a gradient feel of good. That's why I just did this. I pressed F11 on my keyboard, and I click here and change the color to this green. Now look at this. This is an horrible gradient. A very horrible gradient. It's not nice, right? It's not nice at all. Now compare this to me using this blue and blended with this green. You see how even they blend in. It's still blue and green, but just be conscious of the color contrast in which you're using. Their color contrast, they are really light. They are both light colors. So you're now using a light color or a very strong color and another strong color. It doesn't necessarily work most of the times. If you are to use this blue that we used here, if you are going to blend a color that will blend in properly very well. Although this color is not advisable to use, it's only good for the screen. So let's go for something like this or something like this. If we want to use this blue and blend it with another color, let's say we can blend it with definitely not this green. You see, it's still looking awful. If you want to blend it with a shade of green, just go to your color palette. This is green. You can add some sort of blue to it. It makes it subtle. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. It makes it subtle a bit. So this way it still looks better than this, than the one we did earlier. Look at this, it still looks better. This gradient is still okay. So now back to my home. I blend in because I knew if I blend in this green, okay, let me blend them in individually. We've done the blue and green. Let me blend it again. The blue and green. Okay, you see it blends very well. Now let me try blue and this pink. You will see the color contrast is not good. Okay, I have the blue here, then the pink. You see, it is not so good. Now let's try the blue and this yellow. They are really far from each other. It is not so good either. But then now let's try. You see, blue and this blue and green works well. Then let's see green and maybe pink. Green and the green and yellow, they blend in really good. And pink. Nah, it's not good. It's looking somehow. So now what I needed is I what I did was to blend in for the alphabet one, I blend in these two colors, yellow and pink. So I just did something like this. Then I go to my fountain fill or interactive fill, just drag it way up. It changes white to the yellow. So that's it. And for this, I used four colors here. I used four colors in creating the blend here. If you're going to use four colors and you use interactive fill, it won't work. This is what I mean. Let's say you want to use interactive fill now and drag it from up. Interactive fill most time works better with just two colors. But if you're having more than two colors, it might not work because I want it to work in such a way that it flows like this in this direction. It flows in this direction and not it's just flowing like, okay, let me do the two ways. This is one way in which you can do it using the interactive field. So let's say I have, let me go to edit, where is it? Edit field, yes. So I come here, I add blue here, add the blue, I create another double click, I make it green, I create another one, double click, I make it yellow, then I make the last one pink. We can see that it is not the same, it is not giving me the same result. Can we see that? It's not giving me the same result. No matter how I try and fine tune it. Let's look at what I have before. This is what I have here. This is what I have. Can we see that the result is not the same? Can we see that the result is not the same? This one flows like this, but this one is, let's say, okay, so now let's do it the right way. This is not what I want. So for me to get what I want, I will need to create a line art. Yeah, this is what I mean. Using my Bezier tool, I create a line around this, or at the center of the number, something like this. Yeah, something like, let me give it the color, let's say color black, so you can see what I did. Okay, so I created, let me use my shape to like adjust it somehow, make it a bit better. Yeah, so something like this is what we need. It might not be perfect, it's not necessary. So this is just as a guide. So I have created this now. I'll just bring it out so that it doesn't cause a conflict, right? So the next thing is I have to blend in my four colors. So for me to do that, I use the blend tool. The blend tool blends two colors at a time. You can't blend in four colors like this. No, you can only blend two colors at a time. So I have blended this two. I'll use the blend tool again, click on this, blend it with this. You say I blended that too. I click out, use the blend tool again, click on this and blend it with this. So that way I have blended the four colors. Now the next thing is for me to, how do I place my color to make it go around this? For me to make it go around this is why I need to like create this incomplete circle. And if it's a complete circle too, you can use a complete circle if that's what you want. So the next thing is you right click and drag the first one, the first blend, that's a combination of two colors. You right click and drag it over here. You leave it. Let me do that again. Right click and drag over. Oh, just click new parts. Click on this. Yes. So you can drag, and let me select the first circle. Take it to the top. Something like this. I might still reverse it later. Now I've selected the first one. Now the second one. This is the second one. We have four colors. I blended one to one. That makes it number one. I blended blue to green. That's one. I blended green to yellow. That's two. I blended yellow to pink. That's three. That's three blends for four colors. Now I have fit the first color into the circle. Now the second one now, I'll also do what? Select new part. Click on the circle again. It fits it in. Alright. So I select the third one also. Click here, new part. Click on the circle. It fits it in. So now all I just have to do is click on the last circle, drag it up. There's the first circle should be here. First circle of yellow. Drag it somewhere here. No, that's not yellow. Something like this. Okay. So this is it. But now I want it the other way around. That means blue will have to come here and the pink to go there. So I just take my blue back here and I take my pink here, right? The yellow, click out, select the yellow, hold your control to select, take it backwards, right? It is pink, yellow, yellow comes here. I take my blue to the top, then I can bring my green somewhere here. So something like this. So this is it. Now the next thing for you to do is to drag this over. Oh, I increased the size before. I can equally just reduce everything, right? So you can drag it over to fit here. Don't worry, you can reduce it accordingly again. Just make sure it covers this. It might not be perfect, yeah. So the next thing to do is to increase the size of your circle. So just click on it, select, increase the size. It works. It increase other sizes. Look for the yellow, increase the size. It increases. Just select a green, increase. It increases others. Select the blue, increase. It increases others. So just like that. So we can even adjust this our tool. I mean our shape. Select the node, drag it in. Do the same thing here. Drag it in. Yeah, I think that's all. So what you need to do next is right click and break blend apart. I think that's for the blue. Right click here also, break blend apart. That's for the pink. Right click here, it's three blends. Right click here and break blend apart. So we've broken apart the three blends just like this. We have one, we have two, we have three. Hmm. So something like that. Now you cannot delete your outline, right? So now select the blends, every of them together. Okay, you see one in there. Select that I hold my shift and alt. I leave my alt, then it selects. Do the same thing for the blue here. So yeah, that's it. And you can just group them together. Do not weld. Group them together or Control G on your keyboard. Now let me bring back my shape. The shape I have beneath before. Holding your Alt key and clicking on this will select what you have beneath this object. So I have just selected that. Yes. Then I just bring it up. Shift page up brings it on top. Alright. So after doing that, I just hold my shift key and I select the blend. Then I click on intersect. That means what intersect is doing is to take the color to create a shape out of the blend. The shape of this number O or number 0 out of this blend. Okay, let's see what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. I intersect. It might take a lot of time because yeah, I've done that. So I can take this out and delete. I can now take this out. This is my blend. Can we see that? So that's my blend. So I can just delete it also. Then the next thing, I think the next thing I have is another blend of the blue and green here. I have the blend of the blue and green, which is this, blended with green. So it's just two colors, so I just need content fill of these two colors. Now this one, I'll be changing the direction to 90-degree. Yes. Okay, that's how I created the 10K gradients for my 10K follower. So the next thing is I created my background, double click on rectangle, and I change the color to, of course, my brand color. My brand color, let me look for the exact color. Let me bring out the exact color. Okay, let me bring out this. So this is the exact color for my brand. This blue. Yeah, that's the third color. Let me just use my color picker to select this. And let me delete this for now. Then I just make it like this. So I want it to look like it pops, like it's at the center. I place this at the center, Control G. I group the 10 and 10K together. Let me move it closer. Then I paste it at the center. Using P, press P on your keyboard, it pastes it at the center of the page. Then I add a fountain fill, a gradient to this. So F11 on my keyboard takes me to the fountain fill. Now instead of white, I will use the same color or the darker version of it. So I just go to the color picker and I slide it down to the darker version. So instead of me having this linear gradient from left to right, I make it radial or ellipse. So now the black side is at the center, but I don't want it to be at the center. I want the blue at the center. So I just reverse that fill and it gives me this. Look at that beauty. So this might be a little too dark. So I just edit the color, shift it back up a little. Yeah, so it gives me something like this and I click OK. So the next thing I did was to type out my amazing AZID. So the font I'm using is using universal. Just going to like space it, increase the kerning using my shape tool, this second tool here. Yeah, so I reduce the size, color wise. And okay, I used a amazing and followers here. Yeah, so the next thing is the emojis that I had. I downloaded the emoji. I downloaded this. I got this emoji pack or graphics pack from Daily D High on Instagram, and I downloaded the emoji. So let me just import the emoji. Just import the emoji. Hold on a second. Import. Then go to downloads. Um, this is it. Yeah. So I just import it like this. So I needed just not every of it. I just need like 4 of the emojis, which is this art, this notification art, the star, and what else? Yes, and this. So I just have to like select it with my free hand. Select, they are together. So I just select this. I hold my shift and click on this, and I intersect. So that gives me a copy. I can delete this. Do the same thing for others. Intersect. Delete this. And for this, intersect. Then what else? What else? What else? What else? Why don't this? Yes. The star. Yeah. Intersect also. I can get rid of this and this. I don't need them again. So I have all the 3D objects in there. So I just place it in strategic areas, something like this. Reduce it accordingly. Then I place the star somewhere here. Then this here. And then this here. And I think I placed another one here. Make it relatively smaller. Yeah, so I just added a bit of shadow to each and every one of them. But before that, let me just add shadow to the Amazing 10K. So I used my shadow tool. Then I did something like this. Yeah. This time I will make the shadows softer. Let's say like 70. Yes, I want something like this. And I add shadow to each of these emojis. Drag it towards this. Yes, something like this. Then I make it softer. I say like 50. And I reduce the opacity to somewhere like 30, so it doesn't get too much. I do the same thing for others. Right, just like that. Basically, that's all. So basically, that's how I did the Amazing 10K followers, and I just added my logo, which is this, at the top here. Reduced, then they change color to white. And of course, thank you. I put my thank you text here. So centralize it, use my shape tool to increase the kerning. Change the color of view to this yellow. Give it a little more spacing. And voila, that's it. That's it. That's everything, and that's how we got the flyer done. Thank you for watching this tutorial. See you in the next tutorial.